Okay, so just going to show you quickly how we get the connection going to exact here. So drag on exact globe. So what we've done is we've implemented a relay. A relay is an on-prem connector that allows you to connect to Synatic in the cloud, which means that there's only ever a call out via the firewall. There is never a call inward bound. So call out to Synatic to pull data down, call out to Synatic to push data up, never an inward bound connection via the firewall. What I've done here is I've selected the account resource, which is obviously an API call within the exact solution. And then what I do is I go and click play, test. So what it's going to do is it's going to bring down quite a lot of data in the JSON payload here. So the JSON payload will come through from exact globe, and we will then have that data in Synatic to work with and be able to reproduce. So typically what we're looking at doing is pulling through way less records. So we're looking at pulling through kind of an account at a time, or only those accounts that have been updated. But at the moment we're pulling through quite a big payload, so that's why it takes a little bit of time here. So we'll just give it a couple of seconds to pull down that detail, and then I'll show you how it brings the data into Synatic. So then what I'm going to do once we've got data down here is I'll show you what we can do with that data in a flow once we start pushing through into the rest of the solution. So you'll see that it's got a whole bunch of data here, and if I click across to current records, it'll just format that nicely so that I can go and see what data I'm getting through. So you'll see it's quite a big payload coming through here, quite a lot of data per account that's coming through, and that is then all of these fields are available for me to work with in Synatic. And if I wanted to, I could look at the raw JSON over here. That is the payload that it's brought down. Once we've got that data, excuse me, out of exact, we can then take that data and work with it into the rest of the flow. So if we wanted, let's say, bring in a condition here, sorry, and go and say that on two conditions here. So let's say where we can easily go and say input dot record dot account name equals smile. We would then get just the records that are called smile passing down that subflow there, and then the other records passing down there. And then what we can do is we could do a, let's say for instance, a field mapper where we go and start mapping up some fields and call different names, different things, and so on and so forth, customer name. So that's just an example. And then what we would ideally want to do is go and push that data into a destination. So whether that destination is then another system, it can be a SQL database, it can be whatever we need it to be. So let's say I wanted to push that into SQL Server then, and I could go and connect up to a SQL Server, and sorry, I don't have a connection available in this demo solution for the customer here, but I would then be able to insert those records into SQL Server and move on with my data. So that's kind of a brief overview of what we do. The relay is a critical thing because it allows us to get access to data from an on-prem point of view, and then obviously we can take that through to whatever destination we want. So whether that is Dynamic CRM, or whether it's HubSpot, or whether it's a WMS solution, or whether it's a consolidated BI database in SQL Server, MySQL, etc., etc.